Then God said, "Let us make man in our image, according to our likeness. Let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, and over the cattle, over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth." Genesis 1 verse 26. Welcome to Celestial Chronicles. Let's delve into this profound statement from the Bible. What did God mean by saying, "Let us make man in our image"? This question has intrigued theologians and believers for centuries. It's a powerful statement that invites us to explore the nature of God, our relationship with Him, and our place in creation. Don't forget to join our channel for more engaging discussions like this. Firstly, let's examine the phrase, "Let us make man in our image." Who is God speaking to? This plural form has sparked various interpretations. Some suggest that God is addressing a heavenly council, a gathering of divine beings who participate in the heavenly realm. This interpretation sees God as including these beings in His creative process. However, others believe that this verse refers to the Trinity, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. This view emphasizes the unity and diversity within God's nature. To understand this, we need to delve into the concept of the Trinity, a foundational belief in Christianity that describes God as three persons in one: the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. The use of us and our in Genesis 1 verse 26 hints at this divine plurality. It shows that even in the act of creation, the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit were all present and active. How do you perceive the Trinity? Does this understanding enrich your view of God? Being made in God's image is a concept that has intrigued theologians and believers alike for centuries. It implies that we, as humans, reflect certain aspects of God's character. This doesn't mean that we physically resemble God, but rather that we possess attributes such as rationality, creativity, moral responsibility, and the capacity for relationships. How does knowing you are made in God's image impact your view of yourself and others? Join our Celestial Chronicles community to explore more. The idea of the heavenly council is another fascinating aspect of this verse. Some scholars suggest that God was speaking to a divine assembly that included heavenly beings like angels. This interpretation, though intriguing, has its limitations. Angels, as created beings, do not share the divine essence of God. What are your thoughts on the heavenly council? Does it add a new dimension to your understanding of this verse? Reflecting on God's majesty in creation, we are reminded of His immense power and wisdom. Creating humans in His image places us in a unique position within creation. We are not just physical beings, we carry a spark of the divine. This realization should inspire awe and gratitude. How does this knowledge influence your daily life and interactions with others? God's ultimate authority is also highlighted in this passage. By creating us in His image, God establishes Himself as the ultimate judge and ruler. This authority is further affirmed through Jesus' teachings and the Great Commission, where He instructs His disciples to spread the gospel. Recognizing God's authority calls us to live in obedience and worship. How do you respond to God's authority in your life? Share your experiences in the comments. Victory and purpose in creation are beautifully illustrated through Jesus' triumph over sin and the promise of an everlasting kingdom. As beings made in God's image, we are invited to participate in this divine plan. This purpose gives our lives meaning and direction. Do you find hope and purpose in being part of God's eternal plan? How does this belief shape your actions and attitudes? Exploring the plural of majesty in the Hebrew language can deepen our understanding of God's words in Genesis 1 verse 26. The plural form can express greatness and majesty, emphasizing God's supreme authority and relational nature. The Hebrew language, rich with nuances, helps us appreciate the depth and beauty of the Scriptures. How does learning about the Hebrew language and its intricacies enhance your reading of the Bible? Understanding Genesis 1 verse 26 opens up a wealth of insights about God's nature and our identity. As we delve deeper into these themes, we can grow in our faith and understanding. How has this exploration of Genesis 1 verse 26 impacted your view of creation and your place in it? Join our Celestial Chronicles community for more discussions like this. How has this video impacted your understanding of being made in God's image? Share your reflections and let's continue the conversation in the comments. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. This foundational truth sets the stage for the remarkable creation of humanity. Let us make man in our image, according to our likeness. These words from Genesis 1 verse 26 invite us to ponder the profound nature of our creation and our unique relationship with the Creator. How do these words resonate with you? The Trinity is a central doctrine in Christianity, teaching that God exists as three persons: the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. This plurality within unity is reflected in the use of us and our in Genesis 1 verse 26. Understanding the Trinity can deepen our appreciation of God's complexity and majesty. How do you understand the Trinity, and how does it enhance your faith? The idea of a heavenly council, a divine assembly that includes God and his heavenly beings, offers another perspective on this passage. This view suggests that God was speaking in the presence of his angels and other celestial beings. While this idea is fascinating, it has its limitations. Angels are created beings and do not share the same essence as God. What are your thoughts on the heavenly council interpretation? Reflecting on God's majesty in creation, we see his immense power, wisdom, and love. Creating humans in his image places us in a unique position within the cosmos. We are not merely physical beings, we carry a spark of the divine. This realization should fill us with awe and gratitude. How does knowing you are made in God's image impact your view of yourself and others? God's ultimate authority is another crucial aspect of this passage. By creating us in his image, God establishes himself as the ultimate judge and ruler. This authority is further affirmed by Jesus' teachings and the Great Commission. Recognizing God's authority calls us to live in obedience and worship. How do you respond to God's authority in your daily life? Victory and purpose in creation are beautifully illustrated through Jesus' victory over sin and the promise of an everlasting kingdom. As beings made in God's image, we are invited to participate in this divine plan. This purpose gives our lives meaning and direction. Do you find hope and purpose in being part of God's eternal plan? Exploring the plural of majesty in the Hebrew language can deepen our understanding of God's words in Genesis 1 verse 26. The plural form can express greatness and majesty, emphasizing God's supreme authority and relational nature. How does learning about the Hebrew language and its intricacies enhance your reading of the Bible? As we delve deeper into Genesis 1 verse 26, we uncover a wealth of insights about God's nature and our identity. This journey of exploration and understanding can enrich our faith and draw us closer to the Creator. How has this exploration of Genesis 1 verse 26 impacted your view of creation and your place in it? Join our Celestial Chronicles community for more discussions and insights into the Bible. How has this video impacted your understanding of being made in God's image? Share your reflections and let's continue the conversation in the comments. The phrase, "Let us make man in our image, according to our likeness," from Genesis 1 verse 26 is not just a statement about our physical form. It is a declaration of our spiritual and moral likeness to God. It speaks to our ability to reason, to create, to love, and to make moral choices. This divine image sets us apart from the rest of creation and gives us a unique role in God's plan. How does this understanding of being made in God's image influence your sense of purpose and identity? The Trinity, as mentioned earlier, is a key element in understanding this verse. The Father, Son, and Holy Spirit work together in perfect harmony and unity. This plurality within the Godhead is mirrored in our relationships with one another. Just as God exists in community, so are we called to live in community. How do you see the reflection of the Trinity in your relationships? The concept of a heavenly council, where God discusses his plans with his heavenly beings, adds another layer of depth to this passage. This divine assembly includes angels who serve and worship God. While they do not share God's essence, their presence in this council highlights the grandeur and order of the heavenly realm. What are your thoughts on the role of angels in God's plan? Reflecting on God's majesty in creation, we see his power and wisdom on full display. The creation of humans in his image is a testament to his love and care for us. This divine image is not just a physical likeness, but a reflection of God's character and attributes. How does this understanding of being made in God's image affect your view of humanity and your interactions with others? God's ultimate authority is evident in his creation of humanity. By making us in his image, he establishes his sovereignty over all creation. This authority is further emphasized by Jesus' teachings and the Great Commission. Recognizing God's authority calls us to live in obedience and worship. How do you respond to God's authority in your daily life and decisions? Victory and purpose in creation are beautifully illustrated in Jesus' triumph over sin and the promise of an everlasting kingdom. As beings made in God's image, we are invited to participate in this divine plan. This purpose gives our lives meaning and direction. How does the assurance of Jesus' victory and the promise of an everlasting kingdom influence your perspective on life and its challenges? The plural of majesty in the Hebrew language can enrich our understanding of God's words in Genesis 1 verse 26. This grammatical feature emphasizes God's greatness and majesty, highlighting his supreme authority and relational nature. How does understanding the plural of majesty enhance your reading of Genesis and other biblical texts? As we continue to reflect on these themes, we see a God who is majestic, powerful, and deeply relational. His creation of humanity in his image speaks to our unique place in the cosmos and our special relationship with the Creator. How has this exploration of Genesis 1 verse 26 deepened your understanding of God's nature and our identity as His image bearers? Join our Celestial Chronicles community for more thought-provoking discussions and insights into the Bible. Your participation and thoughts are invaluable as we journey together in faith. How has this video impacted your understanding of being made in God's image? Share your reflections and let's continue the conversation in the comments. In conclusion, Genesis 1 verse 26 is a powerful verse that reveals profound truths about God and humanity. It speaks to the mystery of the Trinity, the unique role of humans in creation, and the implications of being made in God's image. As we contemplate these themes, we are invited to deepen our faith, understand our purpose, and live out our calling as God's image bearers. How does this understanding inspire and challenge you in your daily walk with God? Thank you for joining us on Celestial Chronicles. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insightful videos. How has this exploration of Genesis 1 verse 26 enriched your faith? Let's continue the discussion in the comments below.